So the revamped Kimmy is now in the official server, and I've already used her a few times, and I can say she's really great to use as long as you know what you're doing. The first change they made was to her old first skill, which is now combined with her basic attacks. After collecting full stacks, her basic attacks get enhanced, and what's great about it is they now pierce through enemies, unlike before where they could be blocked by minions or enemy tanks. And for me, the best thing that happened to Kimmy is that her basic attacks can now trigger attack effects, which gives you a variety of emblem and item choices. The first thing I noticed is how easy it is to trigger Warcry for Kimmy, making it one of the best emblems for her, especially when you're fighting enemies. Another really solid emblem is Weakness Finder, which now has a very short cooldown, though it has a minimum cooldown of 3 seconds, so you can only trigger it every 3 seconds. It could have been every 1 to 2 seconds if not for that limitation, but it's still good, and that's actually the emblem I prefer for her. It's like that now serves as her slow effect for enemies, since Ice Queen Wand doesn't really suit her anymore. Because she now uses basic attacks now, she can't use Ice Queen Wand as effectively as before. So it's like replacing a whole item with just one emblem talent. And that's really all Kimmy needs to slow the enemy. Not to mention it also reduces the enemy's attack speed. Anyway, I just want to commend Akai here since he helped me clear the minions. This is the kind of tank that makes you want to kill them. If only it were possible to kill your own teammate. It would have been understandable if it were a dumb marksman who's clearly dragging the team down. While the enemy tank was so considerate that he didn't even let the minions enter the turret, so their marksman still got the gold. But Cho kept diving too deep, and he even started dancing with me mid-fight. By the way, as a solo player, I personally prefer Weakness Finder over Warcry. But don't get me wrong, Warcry is still pretty good for her, especially if you have a tank setter on your team. Warcry becomes super solid. But yeah, as a solo player, I prefer Weakness Finder. This is my current emblem build for her. It's still experimental, but so far, I've been on a win streak because of it. Of course, you can switch things up depending on what works best for you. I've tried a lot of different emblems, and this one worked for me. Sooner or later, we'll figure out what the best emblem build for her really is. The ones I tried before didn't feel right, or maybe it's just because I was still practicing Kimmy back then. But yeah, you can use the Assassin emblem instead of the Mage emblem. Still, I'm pretty sure Weakness Finder and Warcry are the best tier 3 talents for her. For her item build, I've tried 2 different setups and both worked pretty well. One includes a bit of crit, just Berserker's Fury and Windtalker. I don't know if anyone else is using Windtalker on her, but for me, it's a really solid item for Kimmy. The other build is pure magic damage. Some players go for Trinity items because her basic attacks now trigger attack effects, but I don't think that works well on Kimmy. She still deals magic damage, and as much as possible you want her to scale with magic power. Attack speed is fine though, because every 1% attack speed converts to 1 magic power. That means attack speed items won't make her attack faster, but they will increase her magic power, so it's still a win. That's also why the best items for her right now are Feather of Heaven and Concentrated Energy. It's super easy to fully stack their passives with Kimmy, and she really benefits from their unique effects. So yeah, you can explore different builds, but never remove Concentrated Energy and Feather of Heaven, because they are your core items, especially if you want to win. If you want to experiment, go ahead, just don't do it in ranked GMOs. If you want to see my full item build for this game, just check the match results later. That's why I show the match results, to let you see my builds, and also to prove that I'm playing solo and not scripting it. So as you can see, Kimmy still crits even with her enhanced basic attacks, which is why it's good to include critical items in her build. Most players only build Berserker's Fury, but Windtalker is also really good for her, giving additional critical chance and movement speed. Kimmy really benefits from Windtalker's unique passive. If you look at it, the cooldown is 5 to 2 seconds. From what I understand, the normal cooldown is 5 seconds when you're not using basic attacks, but when you do, it can go as low as 2 seconds. So that 2 seconds is the minimum cooldown for Windtalker's passive, just like Weakness Finder. This makes it really easy to reduce cooldowns for Kimmy, especially since her attack speed is so fast. She can easily abuse Windtalker's passive along with Weakness Finder. I know some of you have watched content creators or played with or against Kimmy in games, but let me know if you've seen anyone building Windtalker on Kimmy. Now in the next game, I went for a pure magic build. No Windtalker or Berserker's Fury this time. So far, both builds worked really well for me, and I can't really say which one is better. If you want your skills like the ultimate and first skill to deal more damage, then that's the advantage of the full magic damage build. But if you mix in some crit items, the advantage is that Kimmy's basic attacks will hit harder. So just pick whichever playstyle you prefer. I'm just saying both are effective. As for my emblem, nothing changed. I used the same one from my first game. For my full item build in this game, just check it in the match result. Like I said, Feather of Heaven and Concentrated Energy should never be missing from your build. The rest of the items depend on your preference and the situation. I'm just showing you how strong this kind of build can be on Kimmy. Also, drop a comment. Let me know which build you think is better, pure magic or with some critical. So I added Sky Piercer to my build here too, since I noticed my teammates kept stealing my kills. And for me, it works well on Kimmy. But if your team is behind in the game, building Sky Piercer isn't really advisable. As for her combo, it's super simple. Just use your ultimate on the enemy, then follow up with second skill, first skill, and then basic attacks. You can easily burst enemies with that. One thing I also noticed about Kimmy is that her stacks fill up faster when you're hitting jungle creeps or enemy heroes compared to minions. I find it a bit slower to stack on minions, but it's not a big deal. Another thing I really like about Kimmy now is how easy it is for her to clear minion waves. So if you're on defense, it's not that hard. Her enhanced basic attacks are basically unlimited now, as long as you're hitting at least 2 minions, and she can hit all of them within her range. And even enemy turrets can now be hit by Kimmy's enhanced basic attacks, though she doesn't gain stacks from hitting turrets. Still, Revamped Kimmy is super solid right now, and there's no doubt she has the potential to become meta. Some people say Kimmy will never be meta because it's currently an assassin meta. And yeah, it's true she's easy to kill if you're up against assassins, but that's what bans are for. You can just ban those meta assassins that Kimmy really struggles against. I think Fanny, Joy, and Hayabusa are the main threats for her. If you manage to ban those, then Kimmy is free to dominate. Honestly, she might even be a better pick than Granger now, especially since Granger just got a huge nerf. Granger is still strong, that's true. It's just that the nerf really had a noticeable impact, at least for me. And yeah, I've seen a lot of players saying they don't like the new Kimmy and prefer the old version. They say she's worse now because she can't one-shot enemies anymore. But honestly, even before, you could only really one-shot with Kimmy in the late game when she was fully built. I think a lot of them are just overlooking the improvements she got. She was super hard to use before. Her playstyle wasn't exactly beginner-friendly. Now she's smoother and more rewarding if you know what you're doing. That said, I do have a few things I don't like with the revamped Kimmy too. When she uses her first skill, she can't use her second skill or basic attacks at the same time, which kind of limits her movement and makes things feel clunky. Also, I personally feel like the missile range is a bit too short. Since her second skill only immobilizes and doesn't stop enemies from attacking, it's really risky to get close just to land her first skill. And one thing I really struggle with is using her skills while using basic attacks. It's hard to press skills or battle spells because you can't let go of the basic attack button, or it'll interrupt the enhanced attack. Unless you've got multiple fingers flying around on your screen, it gets tricky real fast. But yeah, the revamped Kimmy is actually really fun to use now. I remember when people used to say Granger was trash after his revamp, but fast forward a bit, and suddenly everyone's using him again. I feel like it's going to be the same with Kimmy. Right now, people are sleeping on her, but give it time. They'll realize how dangerous she can be. You really don't want her getting free hits in team fights if she's on the enemy team. Her ultimate is also such a great way to start a fight, especially when followed by her second skill. And the best part? She deals magic damage, which is a good thing, since magic defense items are limited. A lot of heroes naturally have high physical defense, but weak magic defense. Like take Kaka, for example. His passive gives him massive physical defense, but his magic defense stays low. And now Suyu got the same thing. His hybrid defense has been nerfed to only physical defense. Kimmy can shred him a lot easier. That magic damage advantage really makes her a solid pick in the right hands. Since you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, especially if you learned something from this video. And of course, shout out to all the members of this channel. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate every one of you.